gonna be our theme song. Y'all ready for this?
Mic check, mic check. It's Thursday, it's 5, we're pumped.
Jeez, we are pumped tonight.
We're looking at your pictures, we're covering the latest photo news. Chelsea, who makes all this possible?
Squarespace. Squarespace is the easiest way to create a beautiful website, online store, or portfolio, or blog too. They do all of it. Squarespace features an elegant interface, beautiful templates, and incredible 24/7 customer support. You can try Squarespace at squarespace.com/Tony. And if you want to save the monies, that's right, 10% off. Use the coupon code portfolio. That lets them know, you know, I'm doing a good job with this.
You're doing such a good job of that. If you already have your Squarespace portfolio and you want us to look at it during the live show, go to sdp.io/link, send your link in. We'll take a look at one or two portfolios that catch our eye.
One or two.
This is a live show, so you can talk to us live. You can send us questions and stuff.
Talk to me. The
easiest way is to type comments. And our screener Siobhan out in Philly, you can, well, I think we've pretty much given up on Twitter, but here's Justin, our producer.
It looks like there's tweets going on.
Nobody tweets anymore.
At least
you can use
tweets.
hashtag TC Live on Instagram or Twitter. Use it on Instagram, and then you could follow all those people.
If you guys follow me on Instagram, I'll follow you on Instagram. Is that a deal?
How will you know?
Because I'll just see who did, and then I'll just follow them
everybody?
back. Yeah, you just go like this. Just like that.
I don't know. You'll have to show me how to do that again. Today we're looking at high contrast photos. That's kind of vague, but contrast is...
I was lazy that day.
We'll be flexible about it. Go to sdp.io/link and use the password contrast to send your picture.
Submit.
Right? sdp.io/submit, right. And use the password contrast. That's right there. And that'll get you in. All lowercase, though. And contrast is like pictures that are too low contrast. They're washed out.
Well, it's funny because low contrast photos became a style, but then it's not always easy for everyone to achieve. So there's something
it needs to be done
different.
deliberately.
Yeah.
And you can tell when it's just washed out and when somebody's deliberately done it as part of a mood and a style.
Sometimes people deliberately do it. They just don't do it well. So we've got to figure this out today.
Yeah. And contrast, even within a picture, is a really important compositional element. You know, if the main subject of your picture is low contrast, especially separating them from the background, the picture will just look busy and cluttered. And many photographers use like heavy background blur because that your foreground subject is sharp, your background subject is unsharp. That creates contrast. You can also have like bright lighting on the foreground and dark lighting on the background. That creates contrast. It's just a key part of composition and planning a photo, and something we talk about in chapter 2 of Stunning Digital Photography.
That's our book.
We are off next week.
Oh, guess where we're going? We're going.
I already know this.
Oh, you're going to be there?
It would not even be a
You're
challenge
gonna be
for
there?
me to guess this.
Justin's going to be there. Siobhan won't be there, and I love her, but she's going to be answering your emails.
Yeah, she'll be holding on.
She's important. And we're going to be with Eric Lowenbach. He's started as a reader like you, reached out to us. We reached out to our viewers, actually, and told you to tell us cool places to go if you could show us around your town. And a lot of you submitted videos. Thank you. Eric put together a whole itinerary for us. So we're going out to California. We'll be going to Yosemite. We'll be sleeping in a ghost town. We'll be making an episode teaching you some things along the way. And we want to meet more of you in the future, but we're starting with Eric. It's going to be super fun. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm jazzed too. I think it's going to be a great trip. I think we'll get some great pictures out of it. Anyway, when we're back in 2 weeks, we'll look at your landscape photos.
I hope to have a good landscape to share by then.
Yeah, you know, it's so hit or miss. It so much depends on the weather that you get.
Hey.
While you're sending your photos in, we'll talk about a couple of pieces of news. We got a couple of pieces of gear in. This is the Manfrotto. I'm probably mispronouncing it. The BeFree, which is their new line of travel tripods. And
Oh, it's heavier than I thought.
that's what I thought too, but
Why is it? Huh?
It's a full pound lighter than my previous travel tripod.
Really?
Which I hated traveling with because it never fit in my carry-on. But what you can do is those legs completely flip around. Like they flip around almost 180 degrees. So just like move them all the way out like that.
So it flips all the way up and around.
Yeah, exactly. So you do that and that exposes the center column.
Oh.
It's got the same Manfrotto head that I'm accustomed to using, like the quick release plate and everything, which is just convenient. It's
carbon fiber?
It's slightly carbon
Race
fiber.
car.
The legs are carbon fiber, but like everything else is not
Plastic, yeah.
plastic or metal or whatever.
I mean, what could you do?
So I don't know that I can recommend it because I haven't really tried it yet.
We will try
We'll
it
test
on
it
our
out.
trip.
But I'm excited to have something lighter because I just need something lighter.
Yeah.
So you can check it out at sdp.io/BeFree. They're
How do you spell that? Just
BeFree. I can't make the link show up for more than a split second.
That's strange.
Yeah, it is strange. The aluminum ones are like $160 and the carbon fiber ones are like $300. So it's not a cheap tripod, but hopefully it'll save some money. Another piece of news, this guy at a Renaissance fair, bam, is flying a drone. Wow. And this just cracks me up because
whoa.
That is exactly what somebody from the Renaissance era would have done. They would have thrown a spear.
Someone threw a spear at the drone?
Yeah, we'll watch it again. Watch this. He just saw the drone and he's just like,
he actually hit it.
Yeah, he's good, right? He must have been practicing.
Yeah, but the drone operator must have been really mad. Do you think that they dueled after that?
Yeah, he smite that drone.
Hell hath no fury like a nerd.
You know what I think the number one thing people could do to like improve adoption of drones is make them less buzzy.
They're really annoying.
Yeah, let's stop like we just keep adding like new features and stuff to drones. Let's just make them a little quieter. Make them less annoying. There must be ways like
it's just like the physics of the air being propellerized.
Yeah, Chelsea, it's like you didn't watch Blue Thunder. Don't you remember Blue Thunder?
Definitely didn't. I watched
What about Airwolf?
Blue Velvet.
Have you not watched any 1980s helicopter-based TV series?
You've met my dad. I watched 2 seconds of them at a time. He's a channel flipper.
Anyway, both Blue Thunder and Airwolf had silent modes where the blades would run really quietly. That's what they need on drones. That way they won't be annoying everybody with their buzziness. And then fewer people will be upset about drones. I think that's
I want to throw a spear at our drone. That seems like the best thing to do with one.
Yeah. It's certainly entertaining, right?
Hey, guess what?
What?
Remember we did our bag review and every single bag was too big for me? Well, Peak Design sent me an email and was like, yo, Chelsea, first of all, you're the best YouTuber in the world. Secondly, we saw your review and a lot of women and mirrorless shooters feel the same way. A lot of bags are just too big, so we're sending you this 13-inch messenger if you want it. So they sent it to me and I've only used it like once so far, but I'll be taking it on our trip to give it a more thorough break-in and see if I like it. But so far it's much smaller and it seems pretty convenient, so I'm excited they actually thought of women, small people, mirrorless shooters.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in a constant debate about backpack versus messenger bag because when I'm walking around town, the messenger bag kills one shoulder or the other.
Yeah.
And so I'm always like switching shoulders and it's just a pain. But when I'm going through the airport and I'm always like digging out paperwork and tickets and stuff, like I like not having to take my whole backpack off. It just gives you ready access to lenses and whatever batteries and memory cards and as well as paperwork. So the convenience is there, but for like lots of walking and hiking,
yeah,
really uncomfortable on the shoulder. So I'll still keep using a messenger bag. It's just the best thing I've found.
I use a backpack, just a regular backpack, because the photography backpacks are either huge for me or they have so much padding. Like, what do they think I'm doing? Like throwing my camera down a flight of stairs?
Yeah.
So I just use a regular one and, put a hoodie in there or whatever I'm going to wear and get on my way. But I'll try this too.
Yeah, we'll try it. Let's take a look at a few people's
Tony.
photos.
Do you know what I'm drinking today?
What you drinking?
Tequila in a Biggie Smalls glass. It's fancy.
Just iced down tequila?
It's not straight tequila. It's got
That would be a lot of tequila.
It's got juice and bubble water. It's healthy.
This picture is foreboding. Doesn't this feel like end of the world? I love
I love it.
little skyline down there. I'm giving that one a pick. You're starting right off with a pick.
Hey.
But ironically, I think it could be higher contrast. I don't think it has a white point in there.
Well, I had a feeling people would just do whatever they wanted for this one.
See, sdp.io/top tip. Check that out. We're
Top
just gonna
tip.
give you some white and black points here. See, a little thing like that. Don't lose any detail. Just gives you more contrast. Same here. No white point. Should have a little bit of whites in there. It's okay to blow a little bit of the picture out. We don't need like massive amounts of detail in a cigarette there. In fact, I think I actually want to increase the contrast of the overall picture and maybe even just burn down this cigarette.
That's what he's doing. Dad jokes. All day.
Good picture.
Whoa. Ew. It's a female sheep. I'm giving it 5 stars.
You made a pun.
Yeah.
I'm giving your pun
Sheep
0
pun,
stars.
Sheep pun.
But I think the picture's great. Nicely done. I would definitely not call this picture high contrast. I know it's hard to stick to this particular random theme, but the histogram in a high contrast photo should look like a U. And this is just like, it has good contrast. See how this looks like a U? It spikes
What
over
does it
here,
look like?
it spikes over. Oh God, you tricked me into doing a pun, didn't you?
Oh, all the points for me. High-fiving a million angels.
This detail here is spectacular. It's just gorgeous, right?
Spooky.
Again, we kind of need some white in there. And what's going on down there? Oh, it's like a fairy.
It's probably one of those fires for dead people. I like the colors. The purple.
Yeah, I'm giving that one a pick. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Fires for dead people? Where are you from? Like,
Alaska.
yeah.
Aperture blade. I know what you're going to do. You're going to look for that white point.
Yeah, you got to get that white point. Very nice. I like the long exposure here. 25 seconds gives us nice, smooth water and lets the clouds move. I really like super wide angle or moderately wide angle in this case and long exposure. It just makes like a cool effect. It's surreal.
Oh.
This is high contrast, but my eye doesn't rest anywhere. I feel like it needs a focal point of some
I feel
kind.
like this is high contrast, but yeah, it's maybe a shallower depth of field so you could get some small detail and focus and then blur out everything else since this is a very busy environment. You have a car up here, this red car stealing my attention. The lights in the background just give you a lot of visual weight so it can feel, like everything's kind of trying to get your attention. So yeah, you could, like here, if you were to crop it down to this, you could get this name in focus and get these shapes and then blur out everything else. Composition. Oh, that is cool as heck.
Yeah. Wow. We need this makeup artist. This is fantastic.
I'm going to give this 5 stars.
Yeah, I'll give it a pick just for the effort.
Yeah.
Absolutely spectacular makeup. Wow. And great pose. I don't mean to not give any credit to the
Model and the
model or the photographer. The lighting
great
looks
concept
fantastic
and
too.
Pose. You did it.
Yeah. Great work, really.
So this is high contrast, but it looks like it's lacking some white. So let's press Alt and then slide this up. And look at what we did together. You know what else works? You can go down here to sharpen, raise it, and then again press Alt and raise this and you can put a mask. And then it just sharpens the part where the mask is. So let's do Y and do a little before and after. And you can see before, it's a little bit flat. Here, it looks like it pops. These details are sharp. You got bright white, you got dark black. That is high contrast. You did it. 5 stars for fitting the theme.
Nice work.
This is a snowy owl, right? Or is it
I think it's a barn owl.
barn owl? I think I was thinking of snowy egret.
Okay, you got this.
All right, Chelsea, this is the moment you've been waiting for.
Processing wildlife photos in Lightroom can be tricky because I always spend some time. I want to provide a solid black point, but then I don't want to lose the eyes. So lately my technique has been to raise the black point to make there more blacks in the picture, but then I do this. I get that brush, adjustment brush, and I go in and I raise the exposure of the eyes so that you can see some reflection in there. Because the eyes are just the most important part. And you didn't have a catch light in the eyes this time. You know, the sun seems to be behind the owl and to the right.
You don't want to over sharpen. That looks crappy.
Yeah.
You got some nice detail.
I do give a little more sharpening on wildlife photos than I do on most photos. And I use that masking because you don't want to make the
colors here look a little funky to me because it's kind of warm. So I think I'm going to stick with the black and white.
Beautiful bird. Yeah.
Color or black and white?
I don't know.
I also just like the form of the bird, but okay, let's just move on from that.
First, a word on the post-processing here. Like, watch the fringing that's happening here. I feel like you maybe dropped the luminance of the blues, or you did some HDR thing, but use a graduated filter, and that'll be much more natural looking. Check chapter 9 in Stunning Digital Photography for information on how to do that. There's a couple of videos on processing them. 9 and 11, HDR chapter has one too.
Oh, you're good. I just don't know, like, it feels just a little unbalanced because these clouds are very beautiful, but they're also dominating this whole top of the picture. So maybe I would bring up this bottom part a little bit.
Right. The bottom part is actually not contrasty enough. Yeah, you might have to pull that graduated filter up a little higher even.
But you get the idea.
Yeah. Yeah, and because contrast can be localized too. There's the overall contrast, but sometimes you just need to bring out the contrast in the foreground or the background.
Ooh.
I think this is
I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's
good storytelling.
A beautiful picture. It has this kind of symmetry to it.
Yeah.
And it is interesting. It encouraged you to kind of explore a little bit, like check out that piece of paper. What is that? A pool cue or a cigar or something? No,
it says elementary school fishing trip.
Oh, fishing pool. Oh, really I see. Cute. I thought they were on a sidewalk, but now I see that's water. See? Encourages exploration. And their hats have chin straps.
Yeah, I think it's their... Oh, I thought it was their school uniform, but maybe they just give those to them.
That's cool.
Because look, they have a little number on them and stuff. That's cute.
Maybe it's to prevent sunburn.
This is high contrast. I like this.
Yeah. Again, like a
like
gentle graduated filter between the sky and the foreground will make this look more natural. It might be a blended sky. I'm not sure. But they did a good job of providing contrast in the foreground too. Yeah, this is actually a really low contrast shot. It is a silhouette. But the subject matter doesn't, I don't know.
I kind of like it, the leading lines of the telephone poles.
Yeah, there is something about it.
Yeah, I like it. I like this picture because her body language is really interesting. I might actually even make it a little more about her.
I was thinking that too. I do like the balance of the guy walking away. Yeah, there's something about it. I really like her. I actually think she'd benefit from more contrast. Like I wish she popped a little more. Maybe if her face were brightened up a little bit.
Well, it's yeah. This is a hack job, but
yeah, it's tough to edit pictures that have already been edited, especially JPEGs. But I think when we talk about contrast, localized contrast for composition, your eye is going to go to areas of contrast within the picture. And she is kind of lacking because that wall behind her is almost the same brightness as her face. So she almost disappears into the background. If the background were brighter,
Blurred.
or the background were darker, or the background were blurred, that would give more separation, more contrast, and she would just have more pop.
It's f6.3,
But she
but
almost
they got
disappears.
so much in focus.
Yeah, micro four thirds.
Oh, it's
so
micro four thirds.
It's almost like
DH.
f13.
Okay, so the depth of field is deep.
Yeah.
But I still like that picture a lot.
Or you know what? If they had stepped, they would have missed the moment. But if they had stepped to the right, she would have been in front of this area,
Which is more
which is
blurred
much
and
darker,
yeah.
and she would have popped off the picture much more. So when you can plan your photo, that's the kind of thing I think about. Teensy and Mama. Yeah, again, this is like completely lacking in blacks. There you go. Yeah, I don't think that makes it any worse. We're not losing any important details. It can be tough just dropping the black point universally like that because you might, lose important details in the face. And that's why sometimes I have to drop the black point and then go in and actually raise the exposure on important parts of the picture.
But
so
I
they're
like
not
this
lost,
moment.
not
It's a
crushed.
very genuine expression. Both of them have genuine expressions, and it just seems like so intimate and personal. So
Yeah.
I like that picture a lot.
It is sweet. Water
Ooh.
effect of desert or dessert? It's interesting, and I almost wish it had more contrast to it. It's just a very dark picture.
It's interesting, kind of abstract. Ooh, I love this one.
Yeah, I'm giving
gonna
that one a
give this
pick right
one
away. Sometimes you
5
just feel
stars.
something, and the difference in shape between the subject and his shadow seems super cool.
Yeah, it's almost like he seems kind of conservative, and then his shadow is like the boss.
You're
Right?
right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
That's
I
what I
think
like
that's a
about
really
it.
cool shot.
And he has on glasses, so it almost seems like this is the attitude he has inside
His
of him.
alter ego.
Yeah. That's what I liked
love
about
it.
it right away.
Great
That's
shot.
the story it told. That's awesome.
And good use of high contrast, just basically a silhouette.
A little sandpiper.
They did a good
Or just
job
a
here.
plover.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Finn.
Finn.
That's Finn.
I feel like I know this shot. I feel like the original shot was probably really washed out because the day was really foggy or hazy. But if that's the case, then you did a great job of rescuing it. And it turned out really nice.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's almost like a studio shot.
Oh, can't.
Cat. Yeah, I
Maybe-
feel like we just need to.
Maybe a
the
little
white
amped
some.
up with the saturation or something. But yeah, that's high contrast. I
Let's
like
see.
that.
Cats.
Can't.
Uh,
Let's bring those watts up.
Can we get a call on how people actually say Missouri or Missouri? Because I've had people tell me it's Missouri to people who live there, but then I've had people tell me, no, that's definitely not the case. Someone in Missouri in the comments, maybe? Should want to be on the lookout for the correct
Do you want to
pronunciation.
guess?
I'm going to say they just say Missouri, and my 11th grade government teacher was full of crap when he said it was Missouri. Sorry, Mr. whatever your name was.
I'm going to say this is obviously not my strong point based on every other show we've ever had. So I'm going to
We're
leave it
not
up.
experts at pronunciation.
No. But
Justin,
I like
where do you stand on this? Missouri or Missouri?
I actually knew a girl from Missouri, and she always said, I'm from Missouri. So I think it's Missouri.
Oh, all
that.
right.
How often did she say that? Bragger. You know what I mean?
It's like a Harvard graduate. Name dropping all the time. It's a great bird shot.
This is a bird. Is this a magpie?
Yeah.
Did you just say magpie?
Yeah. I was searching for the name, but it's actually in there. I think you focused on the the feathers here rather than the eye, and that can just be a really tough thing with bird photography. You got to get it right on the eye.
Especially when the feathers are so much nicer than the eye.
Yeah, but still,
Aren't the
that
one-
eye needs the contrast.
Oh no. This is a cool shot. 5 stars.
It is cool and great planning. I'll give that one a pick. I like that one too, and perfectly on theme,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah.
This
Let's
is
just go
actually
back,
really.
because I just want to say again, I like it. Very
work.
high contrast, very interesting lighting. You did it.
After this, we'll jump over to Siobhan for a question.
Yeah, let's jump to something.
We could actually brighten this up a little, I think, because it's actually low contrast. Like, just look at the histogram. Now it's spread apart, but we went too high with that. It's a little bit washed out, and it's tough to edit JPEG files like this. I can maybe raise the exposure and drop the highlights.
Whoa, don't do that. No. You're scaring me.
Well, I was trying to add actual contrast to the photo rather than just making it a dark photo, but it was definitely better before.
Yeah.
So
Let's go back to...
So ignoring the theme, maybe it's off theme, but that's a nice and subtle picture.
What's the...
Yeah, that's a good idea. Just using an adjustment brush on the main subject there. That's the biggest challenge you have with it is that most of the subject is just disappearing.
Oh, let's go to the thing.
Yeah.
Let's go to the-
Siobhan, what questions do you have for us?
Most people say that it's Missouri.
But are they
But-
people from Missouri?
I don't know.
Can we even trust them?
Somebody said that people who live there don't say the whole name; they just say Mizzou.
Mizzou?
That's cool. That's too
an
cool for
option
me.
I hadn't even thought of.
I didn't even know.
I've never heard that, but I do have a friend from Missouri who says Missouri. So maybe it's a regional thing.
Oh, man. Missouri is like a divided state.
Ooh, I bet they fight over it every year.
Probably so.
Yeah.
Jim Setzer wants to know what our Thursday routine is. What do we do to get ready for the show?
Well, usually somebody in the office says, "Oh shit, it's 4:15," and then we're like, "Oh, I got to pull a slideshow together." Was there any news this week?
That's not true. For me, it's like a full week process because if I just see stuff in the news, I'll think, I just keep stuff in mind, or if I see comments, I'll
I
think,
usually do that too.
and I'll just like make clips or whatever and put them in a folder. We do pull some stuff together last minute, but
Yeah, if I see a good comment, I'll drop it in. Not this week, but usually I do. If there's something comes up on Patapixel or something, I'll
we
make a
were
news story
scrambling
for it.
today though because we spent our morning taking wildlife pictures.
Yeah.
We found 4 great horned owls and we were chasing them all around.
Mm-hmm.
So, but usually we just kind of get an idea of the stuff we're going to put in the show for the week. And then we are kind of last minute about pulling it all together.
Yeah, usually Justin comes down a little bit early and gets the computer started up. The
Actually,
lights start
usually
to warm
I
up.
say, Justin, it's 4:15. And Justin goes, oh shit, how is it 4:15? And I go, I don't know. Why is it 4:15? And then I go downstairs. He goes, I'm going downstairs. And then we all come downstairs. That's pretty accurate.
Yeah, and then there's always 2 or 3 things that we forget last minute that we end up running around frantically for.
Mm-hmm.
But you should follow Chelsea on
that
Periscope and you can just see the whole process. She's usually streaming
I'm on
live.
Periscope. I'm on Snapchat. I mean, I'm pretty much everywhere, you guys.
What else do you have for us, Siobhan?
I'm so hydrated right now.
Drinking tequila.
Have you ever tested the theory that Canon sensors tend to perform better with ISO in multiples of 160?
No. Have you?
I've not tested that, but I think it's a very, very old theory because I remember it from my days on DP Review in like the late 90s. We have tested lots of Canons and pushing the ISO and that kind of thing. And I actually find like even the difference between 100 and 200, like even if you miss the ISO by 1 or 2 stops, it hardly makes a noticeable difference. So I'd be inclined to completely disregard that idea. It's more about just getting, get the ISO as close as you can and get as much light as possible. Use the slowest shutter speed you can, the widest f-stop you can, and the lowest ISO you can, and you'll get the cleanest images.
Anything else?
What is known to be the widest angle lens there is?
I don't know.
I don't know. We're not like, I'm not an encyclopedia. I know some stuff. Do you know? No clue?
Oh, we have the Ricoh Theta S, which is a 360 camera. It has two lenses, but they're obviously each more than 180 degrees.
Good point.
It's probably not the widest in the world, but 360 degrees.
I like that someone trusts me enough to ask me a question. I'm like, why are you asking me? This is just my job. Like,
You know what? There are like 360 degree lenses basically, because you can put an attachment on your camera that points upward and just shows you a 360 degree view.
really?
Yeah, they're like, like a kind of like a hemisphere that's just reflecting most of the world back around it.
But not a lens per se.
Yeah, maybe you wouldn't
I
qualify
just think
as
they mean a
lens.
straight up
I
lens.
can't believe we talked so much about this. I don't know.
You know,
I have an 8mm.
can I just say we never even did the news?
Well, we did kind of went through the news. What piece of news are you missing?
There's a new Canon lens.
Oh, is that
There are
slide in
two
here?
new Canon lenses, and there's also a National Geographic Photo of the Year contest that I had in there.
Okay. Well, let's look at a portfolio and we'll come back to that.
Okay.
Rob Kurth has his portfolio hosted on Squarespace. How do you feel about this picture?
Well, I think that his technique is great. I like the lighting and I like the composition and stuff, but it's her expression that's missing to me. Because she's making a smiling mouth, but I'm not seeing smile in the eyes. And so the mouth is coming across not genuine. How do you feel?
I think it's a very good picture, and we're being nitpicky because it is good. But I would brighten it just a little bit and maybe tone back the processing a little. I don't know. It just feels a little artificial to me.
Yeah.
It's like triggering that thing where it's like a little too much, where it kind of gives you like I wish.
What?
That sums it up, right? Portraits are one of those things where they pretty much need some processing.
Yeah.
But that moment when you go a little too far, you just know it in some animal.
Uncanny Valley?
Yeah, exactly. It's easy to slip into a lot of portraits that have been just like gone just a little too far.
All right, let's see here. So we have this main page. Is this people? Oh yeah, so this, let's see, is this his people gallery? Yeah. I is that this first page you have a lot of great photos, but there's something distracting, I think, about the layout, the fact that it's staggered and every photo is so different. I can't really settle on one picture. For example, I think that this guy with the guitar, that's a really cool concert photo, but it's hard to get it to stand out next to everything else. Maybe if you just go through them, it's much better if you go through them like this.
Yeah, I actually didn't mind the staggered layout for this, but I feel like there are too many pictures there. Like I feel like they could be thinned out a bit. Like that first picture, I just feel like it's a candid picture of somebody taking a selfie, so I don't really get it.
The light is so nice. I can see why he liked it, but yeah.
Yeah.
This one, to me, The Graduate, like that looks like you were hired to take that picture, and I would think, oh, I've got to remember this guy when Mike came with this family on the train tracks, which I don't know why you're trying to kill that family, but it's a nice picture. Yeah, so baby portraits. Now that I look at it, I think I'd just get rid of like the non-hired, the concerts, this horse and stuff.
Yeah.
These people, this woman, I would keep it to just these family looking portraits. Graduation, this looks like an engagement shoot. I know it's from the same day, so it's probably just a family thing, but then you would have something that looked, what do you think, a bit more cohesive?
Yeah, that's my thoughts exactly. It was just a little all over the map.
Oh, commercial? Excellent. These are great. This shows me you can do a little bit of everything. You've got some commercial real estate, you have product photography, you have some sports teams, you got this little dragon with the terrifying teeth.
Yeah, that one's really good. I think in general, I would ask you to just back off the processing a little. Maybe most people don't notice it, but like bumping me as being artificial, and just blend it in a little bit better. Just
It's
tone
like
it down.
Every single profession, there's like comedians and then there's comedians. It's like the people that know the tricks of the trade, so they like it when you're not pulling the same punches as everyone else, you know?
Yeah, and it can be tough, and that's kind of why I even hedged my recommendation, because I'm too deep in the industry
We're
to
so
know
deep.
how somebody, a potential client, might see it. Because I see it, and I immediately see all the post-processing, and that might bump me. But I know some clients will look at a super HDR'd image and just think that it's awesome. So that's hard for me to assess. Oh, this is places. So this is kind of his travel photography.
Yeah. That's excellent. Might lead with that fireworks shot.
Yeah, that was nice.
What do you think of this layout? Because I'm having a hard time getting around. I've got to go back to his main menu. I think I have to re-enter the site and then go back into the gallery.
The menu definitely shouldn't.
Am I getting that incorrectly? So if I click on this,
Oh yeah, the menu disappears.
the
So
menu
that's
disappears.
Not good. I
can
don't know
go
why that
through
is.
the pictures
The menu to stay at the
If
top.
I
You want a
wanna
consistent
go
navigation
back,
site-wide.
then I have to click on his main page, re-enter his webs again.
How do you feel about the quotes there? Is that adding something? Or does anybody read that, or is it just taking up
I
space?
can't read it because my eyesight's not great, but I would if I were there. If I were up close to that. Okay, so my overall feedback is that you have some good shots. I would just be a bit more selective. Oh, this is beautiful.
That is a beautiful
That is
picture.
like one of my favorite shots on the page. But now, look, I got to go on a journey here. It's like a digital walkabout. Okay. Dang, whoa, you bring the drama, Rob. All right. So I like this. He shows a picture of himself. It's creative. He alludes to his pricing being affordable. So I think that's a good second option if you don't want to just give your prices. You say you give prints. You've got your contact. More up to date than mine. Can't judge you. Yeah.
And some client proofs. Yeah, it's nice. Squarespace gives you the chance to set up things like client proofs, as well as a store where people could buy prints from you or put down a down payment for a portrait session, something like that.
Based on the work I've seen, you go to your main site and you have family. You have your 3 sections showing family, commercial, whatever else you're trying to sell. And that way there, they can go right where they want to go. They don't have to look at your sunset picture to get to those family shots that they're interested in.
Yeah.
And that way there, it's a little more organized in a way that's going to help you sell what you're doing. Tony and Chelsea, thanks. You were right. Squarespace sites look great and are easy to set up. I just set mine up recently and had a fun time doing it. Thanks for the tip, and check out my site. I checked it out and I liked it. What more can you do?
Thanks for sending your site in, Rob. If you want your pictures to look awesome like Rob's, go to squarespace.com/Tony, get your portfolio with a 14-day free trial, no credit card required. Then use the coupon code portfolio and you can get 10% off. That lets them know that you heard about it here.
Yeah. I bet if you guys signed up enough, they'd be like, at the Squarespace office, they'd be like, we got to send Tony and Chelsea a muffin basket. Do you think that will ever happen? Muffins?
Chelsea, I'm looking for your news. I don't know what happened to your news. I think we're done with Microsoft Office.
Oh, no.
Justin, can I get an amen? Because I've been asking for this for like 4 months.
Yeah,
I tried to be supportive, but yeah,
this
amen.
is it. I mean, we use Google Apps for a long time, but Microsoft Office, it has nice features. Like you can't put videos in Google Apps. Google Apps is kind of a pain to edit the slides, and the slides look better in PowerPoint. But Google has just figured out the online like synchronization between multiple users, and Microsoft is terrible at that. They're terrible. It's basically unusable. It's incredibly frustrating. It's productivity killing. And I worked for Microsoft for like 20 years.
I like that you're outraged now because like 3 months ago I was like, we need to get rid of PowerPoint. I'm losing my mind.
No, I've been frustrated with them. I just keep thinking like,
It's got to get better.
yeah, like we'll
better.
we'll work this out. We're just not familiar with it. But no, it's bad.
Yeah, it's
And
really
I
bad.
even worked on the Office 360 team.
I have too, remember?
That's true. You did design work
I
for them.
actually did design for them.
Whew.
Part beyond.
It is still bad. It's been
It's
like 4 or 5 years
And
since they've been working on
Maybe we
it.
should-
Office
yeah.
360 still bad, unusable.
Don't be too mean. This whole photography thing might not pan out for you. You might be crawling back.
Google Apps. Try now.
Chit chat. This is the part of the show where I read your comments and I'm like judging you and stuff. It's hilarious. Everybody loves it. Let's get in. Let's go. James Lynn said, Tony and Chelsea, Ben Brown just shouted you out on his YouTube. He's got 537,000 subscribers. That was a nice surprise in his vlogs. It's on his Never Rush Airport Security on 10/5/16. May 10th, 2016. And I did check it out, and it was like the nicest endorsement you could ever even ask someone to do.
Yeah.
I guess he looked at one of our videos for camera advice, lens advice, and said that we saved him money, showed a little clip on his video, and it was really nice. Thank you, Ben Brown.
Yeah, we saved him like $1,500 because he bought a teleconverter for an existing lens rather than needing a whole other lens. And he knew what he was going to
A
get.
lot of bag space, too.
That's a good point.
He gave us a good shout out, so that was
Ben.
Nice.
I've been watching his channel. I like it a lot. He's got vlogs.
Seems like a
It's
cool
good
guy.
stuff.
He's
Check
got
him
good
out.
pictures, too.
Is he a photographer?
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually takes really good pictures. He's getting into drone work too. He has some great drone footage.
Seems cool. Jim says, Chelsea, what do you imagine the human eye will look like in another 550 million years? Our last podcast was the eye versus cameras, and we talked a lot about the evolution of the eye. Okay, some people were a little mad about that. I don't know if this guy is like teasing me or being sarcastic or being sincere, but I liked your question anyway because I started thinking about it. First, I was like, are we even going to be around in 550 million years? It might look like dust because we might all be dead. Big downer, guys. But then I was
Probably
like,
right. Almost certainly.
Yeah. What if what would it take for our eye to evolve again, right? Like all current medicine would have to fail us and we would have to hunt for our food again. We would have to rely on our eyesight to survive. Because right now you can get by with bad vision.
Or some change in your eyesight would make it more likely that you have offspring. But I don't see that as being a likely condition either.
What if like every single food went toxic except things on the infrared spectrum, and then only these mutant people that could see infrared were not poisoned, and they were also so greedy they wouldn't tell you. They were like, no, I'm like, there's not enough infrared food. We can't tell the non-infrared seers. And then like the next humans only saw an infrared. I don't know. I can't see 550 million years into the future. I think we'll be dead. But I don't know. But I probably won't evolve. We don't need eyesight to survive, so there's no reason for our eyeball to change.
I'm of the thought that most human evolution is probably going to be unnatural from this point forward. Like natural evolution is mostly stopped.
Like technology, like
genetic engineering. And stuff
genetic engineering and technology merged with, like, bionic crap.
But I suspect maybe we'll have genetic engineering that will solve things like astigmatism or whatever, but we'll probably start embedding stuff in our eyes.
Will we get worse?
Like Google
since
Glass,
it doesn't
but
matter
in your
anymore.
eye.
Did people have better vision at one point because we needed vision to survive?
I think it's just sitting up close to the computers that's giving people like bad vision and stuff. I always wonder that too. Like, how can eyes be so flaky when clearly it was really important to survival at one point?
We got some emails about why eyes are perfect and we're morons.
Eyes are perfect.
But maybe my eyes are
Tell the guy who wears contact lenses that.
Yeah. Frostbite says, it would be awesome if this guy could teach things like physics or calculus. I like his clarity.
Thank you. I would love that. We've talked a lot about trying to apply what we've learned about teaching to other things, specifically science and math, because so many people struggle with it. And the way we teach stuff can be so bad.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We have a kid in middle school, and the way they teach math is difficult for a lot of people. It works great for some people.
Yeah.
But not great for everybody. There's
this weird thing though, like we know college professors in some really high up there colleges, and academia is a strange thing. It's very incestuous. They only trust each other. Mm-hmm. They have these weird credentials where you have to be from a certain place to give information. So for YouTubers to go out there and tell people they know how to teach would be laughed out of the educational world, basically.
Yeah, somehow they just still admire lecturing and textbooks. Still, after hundreds and hundreds of years, we're doing things the same way, lecturing and textbooks.
Publishing.
Even if you go to the Khan Academy, it's online, but it's like lecturing.
Yeah.
They don't do interactive things so much, and you know, you find little tidbits here and there, little games or whatever.
That's not
but
even how humans learn.
No.
Come on. Anyway, we've thought about it. We just don't have time. We need more hours in the day. Alexander says, geez, finally someone who explains this with clear examples. Do you care to guess which video this is about, Tony? Finally someone who explains this with clear examples.
Right, this was the crop factor video, right?
The crop factor video. I thought that was so funny because has it been, was this a year ago or 2 years ago?
It's the 2-year anniversary of the first crop factor video.
So I remember when this video first came out, some people were like, I can think about this, whatever. And some people were outraged.
No, some people are still outraged.
To the point where so I guess they were giving you like insults, like comparing you to people they didn't consider were very smart and stuff, just because they didn't agree with you. But then like gradually more people were like, hey, kind of check this out. And maybe this guy is onto something. And now it's gotten to the point where it's getting all the way back around to us 2 years later. And they're like, hey, thanks for clarifying this thing you started talking about 2 years ago.
Yeah. Since then, you know, DP Review, Petapixel, Left Stoppers, they've all covered it at one time or another. So and lots of YouTubers too. And anyway, it's funny because people found out about it through some other source and they're like, oh, this guy explained it
People
better.
still disagree with you though, but
Yeah, they do sometimes. Mostly because they misunderstand. They hear a summary of that somebody else provided.
Yeah.
That I said it changes your exposure settings or something ridiculous like that, and then they get mad about
people
that.
argue about total amount of light, the minutia. Yeah, I feel bad for you, Tony. Sorry.
Thanks.
Pauline. Okay, so I wanted to end it on a high note. Pauline says, good on you, Tony. Your reviews are sound and believable. I would trust you over any other. Don't listen to those idiots out there. It's not worth the energy. Just keep doing what you're doing because most of us are smart enough to realize that you were a great asset to our own photography journeys. That's
Thank you,
the
Pauline.
nicest comment. That's one of those comments where I'm like, is it worth it?
You know, I got a lot of nice comments on that because at the end, I don't know if you saw it, but at the end of the video, I predicted all the upcoming YouTube comments.
That's why. I was wondering why that was so nice.
Which is ironic because it's like the opposite of a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
Because I predicted it, nobody made those comments.
They were like, oh,
Oh,
I'll just write you. I was going to say something terrible. That's funny. We get some, you know what I love about our job? We meet the nicest people.
yeah, we really do.
We've met Finn.
Nobody's
and Kyle
ever mean that we
and
meet.
Eric and Erky. We've met awesome people, but we also meet like the world's biggest turds.
Yeah.
We're like,
Well, we communicate with them. They never
No,
have
we
the
never
guts
meet
to
them.
actually talk to us.
They just send us nasty messages, but we meet the nicest people. That's cool. Oh, you did one.
Oh, right. From Smekjex, Tony. You obviously
That's
got
a
an
band.
uncalibrated lens and a flawed specimen of something. I have that set up myself, and 100% of my photos are in focus and tack sharp. You probably didn't set the focusing system in your review. Unsubscribed, disliked, burn your books, deleted the Squarespace page I got, punched some random stranger in the face because he introduced himself as Tony.
I always read this guy's comments. He's really funny.
Yeah.
I actually did punch a guy in the face who said he was Tony. I was like, no, you're not. I'm married to Tony. He was like, no, different Tony. Yeah, it was a funny misunderstanding.
Oh, man, we have so many pictures to go through today.
Well, it's 5:50, so let's rapid fire.
Yeah, we'll do rapid fire. Actually, I want to re-import, so let's go through the best of. This is a good
Yes.
portrait. Definitely high contrast for a portrait. This is actually kind of low contrast relative,
Well,
but it is moody. This is just in bright sun.
let's get this. I know I'm supposed to be going fast, but I want to try it in black and white.
I was going to say, yeah, because so many bright colors distract from the main subjects. The colors of the sign are actually brighter. That's why I think a lot of street photography works better in black and white, not just for tradition,
That
but
is so cute. I bet this kid's trying to sell her drugs. Kids these days are way different than when we were young. Oh, gorgeous garbage.
it is a pretty picture.
Nice.
That is nice. I'm just baffled by where he's looking. That's all I can think about is like, what's going on up there?
She is too. She's like, I'm paying for these pictures. You settle down. Go get you McDonald's on the way home. Okay. I'm just going to bring out her eyes because that's what it's all about, guys.
Yeah, you know what it is? the lighting is so moody. The shadows from the noses are so long that the mood of the photo overall needs to match that, and the kid's mood just doesn't. So I understand as a little kid it's tough, but I don't know that I would try like a super moody. And do watch the shadows on the nose, because like that makes kind of a crazy line on her
But
face.
it is high contrast. They nailed it.
It is high
Whoa,
contrast.
that's awesome. That's some Dexter intro stuff.
That is very cool. Nicely done.
Bounce.
Boston, right?
Is this in a null? Lizard.
Probably.
Okay. It's pretty high contrast. This is cool. I'm going to give this a
That
pick.
is cool. Very cool
That's
shot.
like a rave bird. Uh-oh, someone's dropping some beats. Let's go high contrast.
Yeah, I wouldn't be afraid to blow that background out completely.
Okay. That is high contrast.
Wow.
Oh, I'm
I've
scared.
pictured like that before.
Look at this one just wedged in there.
Yeah, so here the high contrast was used to kind of accentuate the mood to make it creepier, which is a good choice.
I'm so scared.
Post-processing should match the mood.
Oh, dang.
This is a B-52.
What? Stop it. Don't tease.
I'm just nerd trolling. I had about 14 models that I built of the space
I
shuttle when I
love
was a kid.
this. And
I had models of
I'm
all different
just
sizes.
keeping it on it for a little bit because I know you and Justin. Siobhan, do you remember when we went to DC and we went to the Air and Space Museum, and we
I
just
nerded out so
lost.
hard.
Tony and Justin were lost to the world. They were like, a plane, another plane. Siobhan and I just watched them. We were like, they're cute, right? Watch this. Watch them look at that. They're like, oh, that plane's a plane. We didn't get it.
I went there for the first time when I was 9, and I was
Did it
no
blow your
less
mind?
excited at 41.
You guys were adorable. We branched off for a bit, but it wasn't fun until we went back to you, and you guys were like, damn.
That's a really beautiful shot. I'm going to close up on his... Oh, you can't really see it. Joshua H. Wood.
That's subtle, Joshua.
Yeah, but very pretty picture. Track him down.
Oh my gosh, stop. Is she really smiling like that?
Those dogs are cute.
Stop. They're so... Go back.
Look at that bear.
No, you stop it. Oh my gosh. I feel like you guys at the Space Museum right now. I want to hug the shit out of these bears. Oh my God. Did she look proud? He got an A in bear school, that's for sure. I'm going to give it 5 stars and the pick. Damn, I love them so much. I need a print of that. This might be a poodle. It's cute, this little poodle.
It's Lisa.
I love you, Lisa. This is
Very nice picture.
Do you guys feel like we need to go back to those bears again? Oh my
I
God.
feel like we've pretty much covered the bears.
But wait, look. I love them so much. Look at his posture. He's a model. All right, sorry. That's my favorite picture we've ever gotten. These are good. Pick. Birds. Oh. Maybe I would just up the contrast more since that's the theme. This is great. I'm going to give that a pick.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense.
Oh, it's street photography. Very cool.
I like the contrast of the colors. Yellow and blue. Oh.
Wow. That's fantastic. I really like that a lot. Fantastic shot. She is good at holding still. For 1/5 of a second, she looks razor sharp.
Dang.
Really nicely done. Though I would actually accentuate the contrast here to separate her from the background some. What you could do is actually dodge this a little bit, like brighten up the background behind her since she's wearing a black outfit.
This is great. Good job.
Beautiful sky.
Whoa, this is some puddle art right here. I
Yeah.
like that. I'm going to give that a pick as well.
Yeah, especially since the ripple kind of reveals it.
Ooh. Wait.
You come back to that
Chelsea
tulip.
is a cool cat. Gotta agree. Look at this baby.
She's terribly cute.
She's really cute. Let's up this a little. Let's make more contrast. She's adorable. What's happening? I need an adult.
The The frog is dividing.
This is cool. I'm going to give you a pic. That looks like it'd be footage in one of those like recreations in a show. You know? I don't know.
Yeah, right before he killed somebody.
Mm-hmm. It's very like mystery cruise. This is actually a low contrast because you can see like the whites are not. Oh, maybe they were.
Yeah, I kind of wish that
What's happening?
we had a little more room over here. But I think it's a very cool shot. I like the frozen action, and it's definitely compelling.
Yeah, I think that the water needs to be brought up. Not like that at all. Well, okay, this is good.
You nailed it, Chelsea.
This is my job.
That is super spooky. What?
I'm actually really
I don't know what he has there. I know you want to peek in the shadows, right?
so scared.
Oh, he's on a horse. I didn't know it was a horse. Maybe am I the only person who didn't know it was a horse?
I knew it was a horse. I've seen a horse. Oh. He wrote a book.
Ironic. Very low contrast picture.
Okay, we're getting somewhere.
It's a good picture.
Now let's turn it black and white instead of sepia.
Not on the theme, but it's a good picture.
Right? Because don't you
Yeah.
feel like the sepia was a little like old timey?
Yeah.
And he's a modern dude, I can tell. Uh-oh.
We need some more light in the background because the background just kind of falls off. The flash was just a little harsh.
Still interesting things.
It is interesting, yeah.
I like the jellyfish. I like... This seems like pandering. Oh.
You had some good gear.
Oh, that was
That was Mercury. The other
Mercury.
day.
I was so mad.
Let's all take a moment to remember we're nothing.
Yeah. I got to get a solar filter because I wanted to do it, but I didn't have the right gear. So I got to get into that.
Sean.
How did they get that?
I want to wait.
800 millimeters. F64. Look at that exposure. 1/8000th at F64 at ISO 100. That is
Wow.
F64. What lens even has that? Oh, a 2x teleconverter on a 400 millimeter
I
lens.
kept going. This is Kyle Wolf.
Oh,
Kyle Wolf, I'm
great shot,
going to
Kyle.
see if you got whites in here. Oh, you do. You have whites. You listen. I should have known. I should have known.
But
That's on me.
I think this is one of those times when we could add a graduated filter here, and let's get rid of that. And what? I clearly did something wrong.
You
with
did
the
it
graduated
from
filter.
the middle. There you go.
Okay, that's what I meant to do.
You're crazy. Want to get married? He doesn't.
Yeah, just to balance. It's like a graduated
I
filter.
want to try to meet up with Kyle when we're in Yosemite. He said he might be able to meet us.
Oh, awesome. I guess we probably shouldn't discuss where he lives, but
I still think that'd be pretty far.
174 Blueberry Street. Go there. It's beautiful.
yeah, that made a great thumbnail. It's a little soft when you zoom into it, but it was a great thumbnail.
Thumbnails are important.
That's a great portrait and like great mood on it too, right?
Yeah.
The light on the hair is perfect.
Yeah.
I like the way it just disappears into black
I would
on
even
the
crop it more
right side.
because I learned from you and you learned from me. Wait, let me give that a pick.
Yeah, everything gets better with cropping.
Oh, is this for real? I don't like this. This scares me.
This is what we'll look like in
This
550
is how
million
our
years.
eyes are going to evolve, just tentacles. I'm going to give that a pick because I feel nervous. What am I even looking at? Oh.
Oh my God, I was freaked out. That looks like the map on our wall. I thought that was like a picture of our basement. I thought this was
You're
like some really effed up threat.
I'm calling my mom. Okay, let's re-import.
Yeah, I'll re-import. We can toss it over to Siobhan.
Wait. Lady in the red. Oh, I like the
that's
red
cute.
with the blue. That's good.
Yeah, and that is a good example of contrast.
Yep.
Made her pop. Siobhan, do you have any
Like
questions or comments for us?
violet.
Do.
Yes, you do.
Is there anything inherent in mirrorless camera designs that makes them focus slower than their DSLR rivals? Maybe the smaller size? Will they catch up?
Yes, there is something inherent. DSLRs have that mirror that bounces light up to your eye, it's semi-transparent. So it's sending a portion of the light over to a dedicated phase detect focusing system that can have really big phase detect focusing sensors that are like bigger than individual pixels. Mirrorless cameras, even if they have phase detect, they have to like mix those sensors in between the pixels kind of. So they have to be much smaller. And that means that phase detect, especially when something's really out of focus, is much slower. So especially with telephoto lenses, it's less efficient. Will they ever catch up? Maybe somebody will invent something new that allows like phase detect sensors to span multiple pixels. Or maybe not. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't even know.
Yeah, but I think they'll probably always be a little bit behind, and who knows?
Don't say that. What else, Siobhan?
I think this one is targeted for you. Do you prefer Call of Duty or Battlefield?
I'm going to have to send that over to our local resident expert, Justin.
I'm going to say Call of Duty because that sounds like poop stuff.
Do you have an answer, Justin?
Yeah, lately I've been playing Battlefield, but I've always played Call of Duty. But man, did you hear about the
You would.
Battlefield 1 trailer and the Call of Duty trailer, Tony?
Well, you showed me one of those trailers.
Right.
It was for Battlefield.
Yeah, and that's like the most liked trailer on YouTube
Yeah, it was
ever for
absolutely
thumbs up.
beautiful.
And the new Call of Duty is the most disliked trailer ever
Oh, no.
on YouTube.
Controversial.
Damn.
Yeah, nerd stuff.
Nerd stuff gets really intense.
I do not play online multiplayer games. I only play like the single player campaigns. I just don't because those people get so into it, and you're always like, you have like a 13-year-old yelling inappropriate slurs at you, and they're so good at it. They know exactly like where to be and where to get the weapons and kill them. And I'm just like more casual. Like I just play the single player missions in different games and stuff.
Remember when we tried to play that zombie game together, but you just kept having to save me and it was actually stressing you out? You're like, they're eating you, Josie. They're eating you.
Hey, you got too immersed in that game. I finished
I
up
was like,
XCOM
I
2
lose
though.
at
That was a
everything.
good game.
Wow.
I'm really into Mario Kart because you could throw bananas, which is something you can also do in real life.
You did that just recently, actually.
I did.
You want to take a look at a few more pictures?
We're doing it. I have that outfit.
That's a great portrait.
I call it my nibbles suit. Well,
Sorry, were you going to give it a pic or something?
I was going to give it a pick.
It is a good shot. Great portrait. Good use of her hair, too. There were some good pictures that I wanted to cover in the beginning here. This was just a really nice picture.
That is like, yeah, threatening.
Gorgeous.
Scary.
Gorgeous shot.
Very scary.
That one's really nice. Good little storytelling. Great for a wedding.
Yeah, good wedding stuff.
Which of these pictures catch your eye?
The yellow people, the yellow dress. Contrast of color, but I think that's spot color. So I feel weird right now, and I feel like you tricked me.
Yeah, it is weird. I'm trying to.
It's spot
I think
color.
it's multiple different light sources. Oh, you think it's spot color? You think there's just no getting the color right on it?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, you're right. They just.
They took all the color out there, and they don't even care about me. They're trying to kill me. How about that lightning that looks like a T? That's like God talking to you.
That is cool.
Tony. He's needy.
This is gorgeous. Really nice shot.
Wait.
That would be a great spot for night photography too.
Yeah.
I love the simple composition there. You said wait.
I was going to edit it, but then I realized, no.
That's a great spot. Would be great with a focal point too.
Yeah, I'd put a person there.
What's that?
Oh.
Great backlighting.
Mm.
It's like an example of bokeh. You can see like all the different shapes bokeh will take.
Yeah.
We're just
How
kind
about
of
the
flipping
bird?
through.
Whoa. I've never seen them do that before, have you?
No.
They never do that for me.
Very cool. Pick for you.
She's scary. She lives in a video game.
I want to call it steampunk, but it's probably not because I know
No.
there's like 14 things that are
It's
not
like,
steampunk.
I can't think of what it is. I think it's like some kind of, I was going to say role play, but that's not what I mean, I think it's from a video game like Final Fantasy or something.
Shoot, I've played this one. It's like you're an assassin, and what is that, Justin?
Like Assassin's Creed?
Assassin's Creed. Yeah,
Assassin's
it's beautiful makeup and
That's
outfit.
what it
That's from
reminds
Chris Advil.
Oh, I like Chris.
Advil.
You should go follow him somewhere.
That's got a really nice mood to it.
Oh yeah, Lonely Teapot.
Watch out, Superman. There's a monster behind you.
That's Venom.
Wow.
Okay. When you see crows,
I like that
do you
one.
think of Kafka on the Shore now?
I do. We're reading Kafka on the Shore.
I already finished. You need to catch up. This book club is canceled.
Oh, Chelsea. Oh, I thought that was spot color. It might still be spot
That's spot color in real life.
color. Still not acceptable.
Too much color.
Oh, very nice shot, Maya.
Good job, Maya.
My advice would be to still put the focus on the eye. Don't you think?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
it can be tough. But you don't have anything in the
Siobhan,
background
you
really, so
should-
crank that f-stop
You should
up.
prepare a question. I'm going to get to you in a second. She's there. Let's bring up the white.
This is a pretty low
Ferrari.
contrast shot, but
I think it's pronounced.
it's a California,
Ferrari.
right? But I really like the design of the California. I know it's not like traditional, but I like that long front hood.
Would you ever get a Ferrari?
Well, the owner of Ferrari, I don't know what his name is, like Jack Ferrari. He just announced that he will just never do an electric car. Apparently, he drove a Model S, and he's like, "This is not for me.
Oh, he got
I
jealous.
will never do an electric car."
Yeah.
And I can't imagine
Anything else?
buying something with an internal combustion engine after having an electric car. I just like the electric car, so I'll probably never own a Ferrari.
I don't like
Beautiful design though.
people looking at me.
Yeah,
Because wherever a Ferrari goes around here, people are like, "Oh, hi, Ferrari." I'd be like, I would have a Ferrari if it could look like a Pinto.
yeah, and I have this distinct memory once when I was in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and just hanging out with some friends, and this guy in an awesome Ferrari drove past, like a red Ferrari convertible, of course, and all the girls immediately started making fun of him. I was like, that is an awesome car. That dude is awesome. But all the girls were like talking about the size of his manhood, and everybody just mocked him relentlessly for like 15 minutes. And I was like, yeah, you know what? If you drive around in something that flashy, you're just kind of inviting that reaction. And so it would be nice to own something like that and not have to worry about what everybody thinks, but you can't get around that. Everybody's going to be judging you.
It's an ultimate rich person problem.
Yeah, it is, right?
Yeah, but I've known people that are really rich that have a Ferrari and they're just like, yeah, I don't give a shit. This is my Ferrari. Put your dog in it. And then I've known people who are like, whoa, don't you know this is a Ferrari? Give it the respect. Like, you could be fine and own a Ferrari. It just wouldn't be for me.
Yeah, there's...
So I don't have like $200,000 for a car. We could sell Siobhan and Justin and get one. They're valuable.
You sell them.
This is high contrast. I'll give you that, sir or ma'am. Look at this world. Make you more blue. Oh,
Yeah, fix that white balance. We haven't been to Budapest.
I want to. I had
should.
that
It
in
looks nice.
our itinerary, but we're going to London instead because you met Granger, my friend.
It doesn't sound like a friendly...
Well, I'm not really mad. I'm just pretending to be bitter.
God, Matt, why are you ruining our Budapest
Always
plans?
does this to us.
Ah, there you go. Much nicer.
You want to do a before and after? Those are fun.
Yeah.
Dang.
This next tree picture, it
It's
just
high
needs a
contrast,
subject.
but it scares me.
Yeah.
The saturation is too punched up. But I
Yeah,
can't fix it from
But
here.
yeah,
You know
maybe
that.
they like it.
They like
It's
it.
tough.
Mm,
Oh, that's
too
cool.
spooky.
Nice. Maybe I would crop it down, make that moon bigger. That
This is
doesn't
great.
seem
Look
high
at this
contrast, but it's cool.
frozen water
Yeah, I would actually up the contrast on it, work on the color a little.
flower. This is
Ducks.
like a Wu-Tang flower. Oh yeah, duck. I gotta tell you something, and I don't want to be a downer after that whole "we're all gonna be dead in 500,000 years" thing.
Okay.
But ducks are rapists.
Oh, pick for that.
Siobhan? What was that? Corkscrew peen?
Yep, making a corkscrew symbol.
Because did you know not the male has a corkscrew penis, but the female has fake vaginas? Did you know that? It's like a maze. And she can choose whether or not the male duck raping her essentially gets to impregnate her. That's crazy. Is it considered rape at that point if you have a choice of whether or not they can like give you babies? Like,
Yeah.
you're like, go ahead. I got this. Idiot. I got a whole other maze for that, dum-dum. Ducks are weird. I thought they were so cute. And then one time...
None of this applies to humans, by the way. This is only specific to ducks.
The animal kingdom is a different thing. But one time I was just out like taking out the trash and ducks were doing their little
Yeah, just
scary-
gang rape.
I thought they were so cute until I saw that.
Yeah. And yeah, you're like, what
do
do I
you
do?
if you
do I
see
intervene?
it? I was
Do
like,
I call the
kick
police?
them? And you don't. I was like, this is nature, Chelsea. You're sheltered.
Siobhan, what do you do in the event that you witness duck rape?
Just nature, man.
Nature's cruel.
It is. Cats are rapists too.
Yeah, they are. They got those barbed things. Life is hard. You know what I taught Madeline about life? Like, kindness is the exception. Because I feel like we got into this whole thing where, like, people are always like, everyone's kind and anything else is bullshit. I'm like, no, this is the thing. Kindness and selflessness is really special.
Yeah.
And it's something that you just need to value and not expect every single day. It's like expecting like your favorite thing to be every day. You find it and it's like, that is so nice. This is one of my favorite things about life. But for the most part, ducks rape. And that's just life.
Yeah. Remember being in Peru and seeing like the stray dogs or outdoor dogs, whatever they are, and you'd see them and you'd make friends. You'd be like, oh, I'm going to save my leftovers for him. And then you see him again the next day and he'd just be like, definitely like trying to rape some other dog. You're like, yeah, maybe I won't save my leftovers for you, sir.
Maybe
You've
you're
crossed the
not
line
a
here.
gentleman. You don't get a T-bone. This is some weird dog philosophy. I like this picture. Let's move on. This conversation's...
Yeah, just watch the fringing around the leaves. It gets a little distinct, but it's really good. Got the roly.
Watch what you do with a picture like this.
Really high class show today with Ferraris and Rolexes.
Dang, you people's is rich. You should buy her book.
And look at this guy's house.
This man has a...
He got a fancy foyer, sir.
Our readers, our viewers, they're crazy. I like that picture a lot. I'm going to give it a pick.
Yeah, that's nice. Good lines.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
that's a great portrait.
You're a beautiful man. Look at you.
Yeah. 8514. I always like the effect of that. We almost never use that, but just the distinct fall off and like still keep some form to the face. Great shot.
He looks a bit stiff.
Buddy Holly.
Dad jokes.
Oh, man.
Sorry. We got a lot of pictures today.
Beautiful
This picture is awesome. Pick.
That is.
Oh.
That's okay. Still counts.
Oh.
Go for it. Oh my God. This is a fantastic owl picture.
It's so cute. Is that a saw-whet owl?
I don't know, but you could
It
definitely
just says
sell
cute
prints
owl.
of that.
I think that's accurate.
Why does the noise in the background keep appearing and disappearing? See that? It was there and then look, there's noise and then there it disappears.
Because life is confusing.
I don't know what's going on. It's better without the noise. Oh,
It's a
that's a
nice
beautiful picture.
Dang. She's cool. Let's bring up these highlights.
Yeah. Smoke is great for cinematic
You know
effect.
what we did? I smoked. Well, I guess I smoked a cigar for one of our videos, and someone said unsubscribe because they didn't like that. Oh, this scares me.
Yeah.
I think like
What's up with her expression? She doesn't
this
like
is
the way the outfit
definitely
looks on
really
her.
interesting. I like you have this like attractive model in this grungy environment. It's interesting.
Yeah, that's definitely eye-catching.
Scary.
surprised this is the first crow we've seen. That's great. That was a great shot.
Ooh, I like this one. It's very small, but I like it.
Yeah.
Like real small.
Cheer for all that.
Okay. That's
Oh, that's
nice.
pretty.
I like that a lot.
Well,
What's this one? Wow.
that is definitely high contrast.
Yeah.
Let's toss it over to Siobhan. And what do you have to say, Siobhan?
Siobhan, just talk.
I will.
Just tell me.
This was my favorite comment of the night. Have you ever strategically murdered people based on their zodiac sign? Hashtag Ted Cruz.
What? Someone tried to call Tony the Zodiac Killer, and I'm like, that's already a joke about Ted Cruz. Stop hijacking jokes. We don't do that here.
So hack.
No.
Pick.
No?
Okay. You can hear my dog drinking water in the background.
That's fine. With me.
Also, I hate that I overprocess photos. I always go over the top with every picture. Apart from self-discipline, is there anything else I can do to help this?
It's not really your fault. You acclimate because when you're editing, you're making gradual advances and you're doing different things, and before you know it, you lose track. So when you're done, dial everything back about 20% and you should be okay.
Yeah.
Unless if you tend to be a very heavy editor and really overdo things, put it back like 40%. That some people need to put it back more. But
Yeah.
I find that me, like 15%, I'll have to put it back about 15% because you just are like adding a little dodging and burning here, you're adding a little vibrance here, and before you know it, you have this crazy looking picture. Just at the end, make everything a little less and you should be fine.
Good call.
I know. What else?
When it comes to choosing a lens, which aspect is more important? Lens character or clinical sharpness? Lens character meaning how it flares, creates starbursts, and produces bokeh.
That depends on what you're going for. So if you're a wildlife photographer, sharpness is really important. People want a very sharp wildlife picture. It's novel that you get close to an animal, especially an exotic animal.
Yeah.
If you're doing portraits, we all know what people look like. We're close to them all the time. We know what eyelashes look like. Maybe some cool bokeh or maybe a cool lens flare would be more novel. And so it depends on style and taste. For me, quality is more important with wildlife, and the quality of the picture is more important with like portraits and maybe even street photography, where we kind of know what things look like, but we're putting our own interpretation on them.
That was like a scripted answer. That was spectacular.
Yeah, I'm very smart when I'm drinking.
A good example of this is our Rokinon 50mm f/0.95 lens, which is not a sharp lens, so we use it a lot. And when we do, people always comment on it because it just has this distinctive look, which is almost low quality.
Yeah.
It's not sharp. It has really heavy vignetting. It has crazy chromatic aberration, but it looks cool. That counts.
Which lens did you say?
I said Rokinon. I meant
The Metacon.
Metacon, yeah.
Is it a wrap? Do you have anything else for us, Siobhan?
She has more questions. We don't have kickball tonight, so we can go a little late to make
Yeah,
up for
we're
the
making
last.
up for other
Yeah.
weeks when we leave early.
But Siobhan might need to eat.
I do need to eat. Eloise is making me open grape tomatoes for her. There you go.
This is bonus time, people.
Bonus time.
Yeah, lower your
Yeah.
expectations.
I've dropped the professionalism that I generally have. Would you recommend using a film camera to improve technique?
There are some things you can improve by using a film camera. So like digital, I find people just pop off a bunch of pictures and hope one turns out. With film, you can't see it, so you put a bit more thought in. So I think it'd be a good exercise to try a film camera, because then you know you have to put more thought in, because you can't just chimp and see what you're getting right away. It might force you to slow down, think a bit more about your aperture and your shutter speed, and then like your ISO is your film, obviously. But it could be a very good exercise. So yeah, I think you should try it out.
Yeah, once you get to a point, once you
Yeah.
get pretty good. I would even go back to like a manual film camera, like no meter, like
Yeah.
cranks and stuff, no batteries, and force yourself to meter things separately. That was a really educational process for me,
Really, because it was frustrating for me.
especially when you get back a roll and none of it works.
Yeah.
Is that it?
All right,
You got more?
let's wrap it up.
Okay.
We will see you not next week, but the week after. And thanks for joining us. Bye.
We're looking at landscapes in 2 weeks. Thanks, Siobhan. Thanks, Justin. Thank you, Squarespace, our sponsor. If you want your own awesome portfolio, I'll get there eventually. Go to squarespace.com/Tony and use the coupon code portfolio for 10% off after your free trial. Thank you, Squarespace. Bye.
Bye. That is all.
That is all.